Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we discuss a model launched in 500 pieces as a stainless steel limited edition in the 2023 model year. From Grand Seiko, this is the SBGA493, and it features the 44GS case with a dial inspired by Japanese swordcraft. So the watch is 40 millimeters in diameter in steel, 13.1 millimeters thick lug-to-lug if we're just counting the lugs, 46.4 millimeters, and then end link to end link, it's 50 millimeters total across the wrist with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. When this was launched, it was part of the Heritage collection, and it was part of a series of 3 U.S. market limited editions. Well, actually, I should say special editions. Of the 3 special editions, this was the only one that was specifically limited to a production number. On my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see it wears nicely. It will wear much smaller if you put it on a strap as opposed to the bracelet because of the difference between the lug-to-lug and the end-link to end-link dimension. In fact, you can see Grand Seiko continues to include strap tool holes on the lugs, anticipating that owners may very well wish to put it on a strap. And if you were to put it on a strap, I'd say you could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference. On the bracelet with the end links, I would say 14 centimeters circumference would be the smallest viable size. Here is your over the top, which does tend to exaggerate the width of the watch. And then here's your cuff shot, and it's thinner than it looks. It's irregularly shaped in profile, but it will slide underneath most sleeves. Now the watch features a bracelet that is sort of a hybrid of a sports watch bracelet and a dress watch bracelet. You can see polished intermediates, staggered link alignment. We have a little bit of a rolled bevel on the edge of the links, and then they're polished on their outer faces. A steel Grand Seiko bracelet, so we do have screw-fixed removable links. And if you take a look at the opposite side, you can see that there are actually a couple of intermediate-sized links in case you find yourself in between sizes. With the main links, you can use these to fine-tune. Single-fold clasp, thick-gauge steel Grand Seiko logo. Notice the presence of satin, polish, and media blast on this portion of the clasp. And incredibly intricate finish to have all 3 surrounding the Grand Seiko logo. Twin trigger release, so it will not pop open inadvertently. We've got sort of a 3-link design here, and I mentioned it's almost like a hybrid of a sports watch and a dress watch. And this is a fairly sporty watch with a screw-down crown. It's 100 meters water resistant. We have this conforming end link that mates it cleanly to the case, and the case traces its design heritage back to 1967 when the original 44GS launched. It has a combination of creases and curves, but perhaps the most distinctive feature, the sort of multifaceted lug profile at each corner. Now, of course, you see those strap tool holes there. You can pop the spring bar out easily with your strap tool if you do want to put this on a different strap. The polished elements are done by tin plate hand polishing. Grand Seiko calls this zaratsu, which I believe is the Japanese term for Zalitz machine polishing. And although it originated in Europe, these days the foremost practitioners of this type of polishing are the folks at Grand Seiko, and it takes about 3 years to master this type of hand finishing. So you are getting a handmade watch here. That degree of hand finishing, especially the extent of it across the entire exterior, not something you'll find on a comparably priced Swiss watch. There's a handsome amount of countersink at the crown into the flank of the case, so it doesn't stick out too far. And then you can see the logo, vintage style Grand Seiko logo with polish and media blast, a little bit of a double-faceted bezel with a sharp edge. And then you can see how the mid-case sort of dips between the peaks of the lugs to reveal the bezel. Fascinating design. Grand Seiko dials, I often say that co-equally with Rolex, they are the best in the mainstream luxury class. And Rolex does it with automation, and they achieve perfection and quality that way. Grand Seiko does it largely with hand manufacture. You could see the first element here, this unique scatter pattern in a vivid red. This is designed to evoke the sparks that fly during the production of Japanese swords. Everything else, as you can see, these little indices, the frame for the date, the logo, the hands, they are cut on tiny micrometric milling tools by people whose full-time gig is making these parts. And the closer you get, the more intricate they become. You can see that there are these little striations on the top of each hand-placed index, And then you can see mirror faceting on the sides, and that the facets are incredibly sharp for such tiny structures. Take a look at the date window right there. You can see inboard it's matte finished, outboard it's polished, and the hands, which are satinated on their tops, but then their razor-like flanks are mirror polished. And between crafting these tiny parts by hand, placing them by hand, and caulking them by hand, you have a wonderfully handmade dial. Now you can also see elements of metal texture and lacquer to create that scatter pattern from the center radiating outward. We have a little power reserve indicator, 72-hour automatic winding power reserve. Note the sweep of the seconds hand. Ultra smooth, no tick, no tock, really no stagger. It doesn't stop. It is a completely smooth glide that's characteristic of spring drive, a Grand Seiko and Seiko original that frankly it took from 1977 to 2005 to bring to market in its automatic form. And the idea here, which is probably better illustrated by the case back, is that we don't actually have a lever escapement. We have this unidirectional governing wheel. On one side, the governing wheel is geared to the mainspring. On the other side, it's geared to the hands. The governing wheel creates an induced electrical current that activates a quartz timing circuit. That, in turn, applies an electromagnetic braking force to slow the governing wheel and read out the time as precisely as a quartz watch, but with no batteries or capacitors to power it and no motors involved. It is truly spring-driven. So it's sort of the best of quartz and mechanical. This movement is hand-assembled, regulated, and when the time comes, hand-serviced. It is a lifetime movement, not the lifetime of the original owner either, but the lifetime of the watch through several generations. Caliber 9R65A, 72 hours of power reserve, accurate to 15 seconds a month. It has both a stop seconds function and a quick set for the date, 30 joules. You can see, as with Omega and Rolex, the decoration is primarily mechanical but attractively rendered. And these are made at the Shinshu Watch Studio. There are two different Grand Seiko watchmaking studios. There is the Shiojiri location, which is where quartz and the spring drives are made. And then in Morioka, there is the Shizuku Ishii studio, which makes the mechanical watches. So this would have been made in the Shinshu Watch Studio up in Shiojiri. The watch is beautiful and it is versatile. As I mentioned, highly water resistant. This is a daily driver of extraordinary quality, handmade inside and out with unique technologies and a wonderful and culturally evocative dial. So reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.